Hey, how's it going? Daily check-in today is a very brief one. I'm at a wedding and we've had a wonderful time so far, and we've got about an hour or so now between things happening, so I figured be a good opportunity just to disappear off for a few moments and do the check-in before the evening's festivities and celebrations begin. And so actually, well, this morning I was out for a run. There's a little 4K loop. So I did 4 laps of that this morning, and 10 miles is the longest run I've done in probably since Endure 24, which was about 2 months ago now, and that was 40 miles. So 40 miles and a few 5-6 miles in between times, and 10 miles today, and then this 40-mile fell run with the swims in 2 weeks' time. So I was out, and it gave me a bit of a chance to have a bit of a think and to. It just kind of reminded me how much I love running, just getting out there without any real care about how fast I'm going. It was all cross country, so there was no sort of comparisons with time. So yeah, just a really nice head clearing opportunity this morning, an hour and 20 minutes or so. But today, one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot is alcohol, funny enough, at a wedding. But more specifically, in my case, the lack of it, as 5 years ago, just over 5 years ago, I decided that I was going to stop drinking. And for various reasons, which I won't go into here on this video, but it was always something that I thought I'd sort of make more of and talk more about. But actually, I've talked about it very little. It's come up in conversation, obviously, at events like this. People often ask, you know, do you miss drinking? Is a classic question, and I always thought that I'd struggle with answering that question, but the truth is, I never have, and even though I used to drink a fair amount when I was drinking. Interestingly, what I find, and I found this certainly last weekend when I was out at a friend's 40th in London, I found that as the energy of the room and the party increases, as the level of inebriation increases, I find that my energy increases as well, and the volume that I talk at and the maybe the crassness of conversation increases in line with everybody else's, and then all of a sudden it'll be like, yes, that's right, everyone's getting drunk and I'm not. Yeah, here I am still being an idiot. So it will be interesting to see. I'm sure the same sort of thing will happen tonight, but it's great. I kind of feel really relaxed. You know, and it reminded me as well, kind of a day like today, I would have been absolutely focused on, you know, making sure that I got my fair share of drinks, and I was having all the wine I could get my hands on, and, you know, planning out my trips to the bar, and that's just was this sort of secondary narrative that would be going on in my mind, that kind of now I look back in hindsight, I think probably detracted, for me anyway, detracted from the proper enjoyment and fully immersive experience of the occasion. I don't have that now, so no, the answer to that question I often get is I don't miss it at all. But anyway, so I figured I'd probably make more of that in talks and seminars and things I spoke and wrote about. But I've always struggled with getting the balance between, or not even getting the balance, but really getting it clear in my mind how I can kind of tell that story in a way that's kind of inspirational for people to feel like they can take action on without being preachy. And I've never stood up there or wrote, you know, drinking's bad for you, shouldn't drink. You know, it's a terrible thing. Like, it's not like, you know, like sugar, right? We all know we shouldn't eat sugar, and it's like, well, okay, I can reduce the amount of sugar I eat. But it's got to be a very personal decision to either reduce or stop drinking alcohol. And I've never wanted to be the person who says, oh, it's the boring health guy who says, oh, you can't even drink. It's like no sugar, no wheat, no dairy, no caffeine, no booze, no fun. And it's never, it's difficult to kind of get that balance. So I've just never really put it out there in a really kind of big way. But at a wedding like this, it's a sort of conversation that comes up, and it makes me realize how much better off I am personally without alcohol in my life. Certainly some of the things that I kind of used to go through mentally when I was drinking wasn't particularly pleasant. And although it wasn't like, well, this is the thing, right? I am going into it now, aren't I? I used to kind of, you know, I'd have a few drinks on an evening, and then the next day I'd wake up and I'd just continue as normal, like, you know, as absolutely fine, no problems, no hang-up, a little bit tired maybe. And I would just tell myself, well, I obviously haven't got a problem, because I can get up and I can function completely normally the next day. And yet I would still do it. And when I was doing it, when I was overdoing it, when I was doing it and seemingly incapable of stopping, then I wasn't really very happy with that situation. It was only because I could keep going that I obviously told myself, I don't have a problem. There's no problem here. No problem. Then there was no reason to stop. And then all of a sudden I realized that I just didn't want to do this anymore. And just one day, woke up in the morning, not after a particularly heavy night, but I had a few drinks the night before, and just decided, you know what, I'm never going to drink again. And that was that. And I never have. And I've never looked back and felt like I've given anything up or stopped and deprived myself. So maybe it's something I should be making more of and telling people that story. So I guess it's a part of my story. It's a part of the, and not, with all the other things that I do as well, it's a part of me, a part of who I am, a part of the process that I've been through, a part of the turning point in my own personal journey, my own personal transformation that I'm still on, and we all are on. This is just a part of my story, and I find myself, as I said, at events like this, and all of a sudden there'll be a moment when I realise, yeah, that's why everyone's talking a lot more loudly now, because everyone's getting drunk. And and I'm not, and I still continue to enjoy myself. I remember once being at a wedding actually, and having to ask somebody. This was the first wedding I'd been to as a non-drinker, and I said to my friend, what would I be doing around now if I had been drinking? And he said, you'd probably be on the empty dance floor, just dancing by yourself. I said, right, okay. And off I went and got dancing on the empty dance floor by myself. I think there might have been a couple of kids on the dance floor as well, so we ended up doing like cartwheels and handstands. But anyway, so yeah, anyway, that's my slightly rambling, alcohol-free check-in for the day. I will be back again tomorrow with a bit more of an update. Other than that, I shall I'll do the usual thing, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, like the video, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.